Welcome back to J-Rock Soccer and Basketball Sessions. I appreciate you guys so much. Today is going to be all about the Los Angeles Lakers' second preseason game. Some defensive rotations they missed, some miscommunication. We'll get into all of that. Also, Ariza will be reevaluated in 8 weeks. We'll talk about what that means for the Los Angeles Lakers, as well as do I think we're finally going to see the Big Three play on Friday. We will get into all of that right here on J-Rock Soccer and Basketball Sessions. But guys, first I want to ask you to please hit that subscribe button. And if you like the video after you look, make sure you hit that like button. I appreciate you guys so much. Now let's get into it. All right, guys. So first off, we're going to get into the news about Trevor Ariza. Guys, Trevor Ariza was really going to help our wing depth for the Los Angeles Lakers. Russell Westbrook and LeBron James and Anthony Davis alongside those guys is really going to help us defensively. And it was definitely supposed to make sure that we can stay fairly big when we went small, as far as like having Anthony Davis at the 5 and just kind of having 4 wings / guards around him. That does hurt quite a bit now. I'm not really sure what they're going to go to. One thing I do know that Frank Vogel said prior to the preseason game 2 was that Bazemore separated himself as far as defensively on the wings. But Trevor Ariza was definitely someone who can shoot a little bit and doesn't give up much offensively, because the truth is that the Los Angeles Lakers have a ton of players that are, for the most part, they really only do 1 or 2 things for you. Monk is a shooter. He's a scorer. I think he's elite at that. But that's pretty much what it is that he does. Nunn, not the strongest defender either. Carmelo Anthony, not the strongest defender either. So I think it does hurt. I know some people are like, well, so what? We haven't seen him yet, and so what? He's old. But he was supposed to help the Lakers out on the wing, definitely. So, guys, it is a blow. I'm not sure what you do. Do you start Melo? I don't think so, because I think it hurts your defense too much, but that's something that comes to mind. So you start Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. I guess you can go traditional. Do you start Dwight Howard next to them? And then who do you slot in at the 2? Wayne Ellington. Starting Wayne Ellington at the 2 hurts you, because once again he's pretty much a one-dimensional player. Now he can shoot off screens, he can do a bunch of things, but he's not really known for his defense. So do you start Wayne Ellington? Or do you start Nunn? Or do you start Monk? What do you do now that you don't have Ariza? Which some people kind of thought we're going to start. Do you start? Because if you start Monk, you have Russell Westbrook, Monk, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and then who? Bazemore? Then you're really small. So I'm just not sure what. I'm not sure what. I guess you can go Talon Horton Tucker, but then again, he's also not a big defender either. I just don't know. It really hurts, and we're starting to see already, if one good role player is injured for the Los Angeles Lakers, then you're scrambling trying to figure out what exactly you're going to do. Some people predicted that Ariza was going to start at the 3, or LeBron at the 4, Anthony Davis at the 5, and then one of those 2 slotted out, whether it was Bazemore, Monk, Nunn, THT, you slot someone else in there alongside Russell Westbrook. But now, I just don't know. I don't know where you go. I'm guessing you start a traditional 5 so that you can bring Bazemore or THT off the bench. So then you're running Dwight Howard at the 5, Anthony Davis at the 4, LeBron James at the 3, Russell Westbrook and Bazemore. I don't know. I don't know. I guess you can do Ellington to make sure you got the shooting out there, but I'm a little. And then what do you do when you start rotating? So are you going to put Carmelo Anthony out there? I guess you could try to start Carmelo out there for size purposes without going with 2 traditional well, I don't want to say traditional, because Anthony Davis can do a lot. I just don't know. I don't know, guys. It hurts, is what I'm saying. And maybe just me just hearing this last night, maybe I'm just thinking too hard on this. Maybe that is the case, but I think it hurts. You have really no wing defender. You just don't have one. So I'm not even just talking about starting, because you can start whatever, because most teams will start traditional anyway. A lot of teams do. So yeah, you just start traditional, then figure it out. But even the closing lineup, and once rotations start, so what you're gonna have? You're gonna have Monk. If you start, then you want Dwight Howard behind your second unit, because you're gonna play Russell Westbrook, which he's a much better defender than what people think. Laker Nation, he's much better than what you think he is at defense. But Russell Westbrook, he does tend to gamble and things like that, alongside Monk, who's not a defender, alongside Nunn, who's undersized and not a defender, just like Monk is undersized. Carmelo, who's not a good defender. So if you start Dwight Howard, who are you? What, DeAndre Jordan? He's just, in my opinion, he hasn't looked strong in his first two preseason games. I have not liked DeAndre Jordan's minutes at all. I guess you can put DeAndre Jordan behind them, but I don't think having DeAndre Jordan behind Carmelo Anthony works. I think you need to have Dwight Howard behind Carmelo Anthony, Monk, Nunn, THT, whoever's going to be in that second unit. It hurts that you don't have Ariza, who can keep you fairly big when you go small, and fairly big in the second unit. And then the starting lineup. I want to start with that. I spent 6 minutes on this because I'm actually worried about the wing depth for the Los Angeles Lakers. If you disagree, go ahead, leave a comment, or you can get on me on Twitter. I'd love to know your thoughts. Maybe I'm overthinking this a little bit too much. I'm a person that I love input. So if you agree, let me know. If you disagree, let me know, and let me know why. Maybe you'll make me think about something that I haven't really thought of in the 12 hours since we found out that Ariza's out for 8 weeks. Now, if he returns and he's Ariza, that's great. But they said reevaluate it in 8 weeks. So that doesn't mean he's going to be back in 8 weeks. Okay? So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the Lakers' defense. In my opinion, the first stretch of the defense I didn't think was actually that bad. At first, Anthony Davis just blowing up everything, and I thought it was just beautiful. And I like how Anthony Davis got to his spots. I like the shots he was getting. I like the shots the team was getting. And at first, the defense, Anthony Davis was blowing everything up. He was getting deflections after deflection, and I was happy with it. And then the rotation started. When the rotation started, I did not think that we did well at all as far as defensively and rotations. The communication was off. At one point, it seemed like the Lakers, the Lakers kind of were not actually really playing that hard, which with Russell Westbrook, everyone's going to play hard. And that's the thing about not having him on the floor at the beginning of the season, is he's not out there to galvanize the troops, along with LeBron James. LeBron James is going to do that too. You guys have seen their practice videos. They are intense. LeBron and Russell Westbrook just yelling all over the place, and so it's intense. So obviously when they're not on the floor for these preseason games, you see the difference. Like, the intensity is not there. The leadership isn't on the floor. But nonetheless, at some point, these guys are going to sit, which I guess there'll always be one of Russell Westbrook, LeBron James on the floor at all times. But they got to be able to motivate themselves. And to me, it seemed like there were stretches where they just weren't even trying to do anything, especially DeAndre Jordan. I spent an entire, maybe 5 game minutes trying to figure out, is he just slow and confused, or is he just not trying? I didn't know. I was trying to decide myself whether he was just a little slow step because he's getting older and he was just a little bit lost, or was it like y'all can put me out there to play, but like I'm not doing nothing because I don't feel like it. I couldn't figure out which one it was, or if it was a mixture of the two. I did not like his minutes at all. It's the preseason. Maybe he was lollygagging around. I don't know. But I hope Frank Vogel is watching. I hope that he is paying attention. I don't like DeAndre Jordan's minutes on either side of the floor. He's definitely kind of in the way, in my opinion, on offense in the spaces that Anthony Davis wants to work in, or Carmelo Anthony for that matter. And on defense, it just seems slow. He's getting to his reads late, and he's calling out stuff, ice, ice. but then he's the one who looks lost and confused and slow. So I don't know. That's my opinion on the defense. But guys, I said all that to say that is what the preseason is for. It's for specifically that, to iron out all of those details. Even Frank Vogel said himself post game, our communication. We've got to be better defensively. We've got to rebound better, and we've got to communicate better. And I 100% agree. That's what I saw. Now the rebounding, I'm not too worried about the rebounding because one, Dwight Howard didn't play. Two, Russell Westbrook is the best rebounding guard in the history of the NBA. And not only that, he'll rebound and he'll just take off to start the offense. So I'm not too worried about the rebounding. That was kind of the least of my worries because I know Dwight Howard and Russell Westbrook weren't on the floor. Not to mention LeBron James. I think he averages 6 or 7 for his career as well. But the best rebounding guard in basketball is on the Los Angeles Lakers. So I'm not too worried about the rebounding. But yes, defensively, and the communication was definitely a problem for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, offensively, I liked, in the first quarter and a half, I liked every shot the Lakers got for the most part. They were still running some of the same sets, pin downs for shooters, veer pick and rolls, things like that. They're still running the same sets, which I thought was good. Execution, not so good. But again, that's what the preseason is for, and the execution not so good because I'm pretty sure the people who are running those plays on the practice floor is LeBron James and Russell Westbrook. So obviously, the execution isn't going to be that great with the role players just trying to do it amongst each other because again, at all times there's going to be one Russell Westbrook or one LeBron James on the basketball court. There won't be any minutes without one of them on the court for the most part. So it makes sense that it looks a bit off. And that's something I do want to remind everybody. I don't want to make it seem like this is a negative podcast and vlog video, but it's the preseason, guys. And LeBron James and Russell Westbrook aren't playing. Let's talk about that for a second. Guys, relax. It's going to be okay. On Twitter, I know some people worry or we're trash. All these players suck. Guys, it's the preseason. LeBron James and Russell Westbrook are going to fix a lot of these problems that we see. Even something as simple as intensity, because Russell Westbrook is intense. He never cheats you for effort. He's 110% all the dang time, even in practice. So having LeBron James and Russell Westbrook on the floor, people are going to be held accountable. People are going to they're going to be moving fast and moving hard and making reads and speaking and intensity. All that stuff's going to be high just from simply having those two on the basketball court. So a lot of those things are going to be fixed. Rebounding, it'll be fixed with LeBron James and Russell Westbrook on the basketball court because they're going to rebound the ball. Some of the play creating, that's going to be fixed with LeBron James and Russell Westbrook on the basketball court because those are two of the top 1% of NBA playmakers, creators in the NBA. They're on the same team. It'll all be okay. I promise. I promise. So just keep that in mind. Some things that, they're just going to get fixed because those two are on the floor. So relax. It'll be okay. I promise. Another thing I want to get to offensively is Monk is just a bucket. Plain and simple. We're going to talk about Malik Monk. Look, he may not be the greatest defender, any of that stuff, but he is 100% a bucket getter, just as he has always been, even from Kentucky. The boy can score, and I think that's his role. 6 men off the bench to just fill it up. I don't think his role expands more than that. Look, he's got to try and make do defensively, but his job is really simple, and I'm pretty sure they let him know. Your job is to come on this floor as a 6th man and be instant offense, period. Job 1. That's it. That's all. And then try to play some competent defense. Nothing else. That's his job. Melo offensively, I thought his minutes, his first stretch were fine. He got barbecue chicken in the post with Chris Paul. Went to work. I forgot who they had on the second time. He went to work, and I just thought Chris Paul, that's never going to work. Having him on Chris Paul, that's barbecue chicken. I don't care how old Carmelo Anthony is or how far into the retirement home he's been staying. That is instant offense. In his second stretch, I didn't think was the greatest. I thought some stuff was forced. And again, I think that's fixed because when you have Russell Westbrook and LeBron James on the floor, they're going to have the ball in their hands. They're going to garner the attention. And Melo isn't just going to sit in the post and try to back someone down for 7 seconds and then take a fadeaway contested jump shot. I don't think that's going to happen again with those two on the floor. So again, I'm not that worried about that in particular. But when he's able to just pick his spots like his first stretch was, I think that Carmelo Anthony's going to be very good for the Los Angeles Lakers in the second unit. That's my opinion. Offensively, I talked about Monk. I talked about Anthony Davis. Again, I think he got to his spots. I think he got the shots he wanted. He needs to be more in rhythm. So he's missing short on some. They're kind of rolling in and out. That's just a rhythm thing. I think he'll get it together, and for the most part, I think that's why he's playing these games, that he wants to get in rhythm. So I'm not too worried about him. I think he's getting to spots. He's looking good. He's moving well. So I'm not too worried about him at all. I think that's pretty much. Nunn is a guy who can do a lot of things. I'm really looking forward to him coming into his own. He's going to learn to play basketballs alongside Russell Westbrook. LeBron James as well, but Russell Westbrook being a guard. I'm looking forward to great things from Kendrick Nunn. I very much am excited about that. And Monk is a walking bucket, but I just am excited to see the growth in Kendrick Nunn as well. The boy is a baller. What I like about Tucker, THT, is he is no stop. He's always pushing that turbo button. I love it being a Russell Westbrook fan. He just gets to the basket so quick. I'm hoping that he can hit a little bit more from the three-point line. That's what we all know, and he knows that he needs to develop. So I'm hoping he gets better in that area. But I'm loving the attacking that Talon Horton Tucker is doing very, very much. So, guys, I got into all of that. I want to get into LeBron James and Russell Westbrook together. I just want to make this clear because I feel like we're going to see them on Friday. I am 0% worried about Russell Westbrook and LeBron James being on the floor together. I don't give a damn what anyone says. LeBron James is one of the greatest IQ players of all time, and he's the best IQ in the NBA right now. Yeah, I guess you can say Chris Paul after that, things like that. And guys, Russell Westbrook, I don't care what no one says. His IQ, I watch him play. I've watched him play since UCLA. His IQ is there. Does he make boneheaded decisions sometimes? Because when you're down by 15 and no one else wants to play, he's going to try everything he can? Of course. But the guy can play basketball, and the guy can set people up. His IQ is very good. These are two of the top IQs in basketball. These are two of the best passers in basketball. These are two of the best creators in basketball on the same doggone basketball team. I am 0% worried about those two together. They'll figure it out. Progression isn't linear. Remember that. Are they going to go through ups and downs the first 20 and 25 games? Hell yeah. They definitely are. But guys, in 20 to 25 games, when we reevaluate them, we're going to say, man, this duo is something else. Not because particularly they're scoring. I really believe the LeBron James and Russell Westbrook are going to do something special as creators, as playmakers in the NBA. It's very rare that you see two players with like 9+ assists on the same team. Guys, I really believe LeBron James and Russell Westbrook are going to do that. They are that elite. They are that phenomenal. They're just so good at basketball. They're so good at creating for others. They're so good at maximizing the talent of those around them. And I don't want to hear anyone say anything different, because Paul George, my goodness, his season with Russell Westbrook and him, he was in the MVP conversation. Steven Adams got paid next to Russell Westbrook. Now, I get it. That was part of the balloon year. But he had a lot of people saying that Steven Adams was a top 5 center in the NBA. I ain't lying. Tell me I'm lying. We know it's true. Jeremy Grant developed great next to Russell Westbrook. Oladipo said he gave all the credit to what he became when he got traded for Paul George. He gave it to Russell Westbrook. He gave that credit to Russ, teaching him how to be a professional and how to be elite, how to be great, how to become great. Russell Westbrook and LeBron James, two of the best creators in the NBA today, are on the same doggone basketball team. You can be worried all you want. I'm going to wait 20, 25 games because I am 0% worried. I'm not worried at all. I'm good. All right? But guys, thank you so much for watching the video. I'm going to do the podcast from now on YouTube as well, on Anchor. So if you like the audio podcast, you can listen to it on your Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, Castbox, and much, much more. I'm on all the podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts as well. But if you like the video version, you come right here to YouTube. I'm going to do it from here from now on. You remember, I do every single game, every post game. Within 12 hours, I am doing a video about the Los Angeles Lakers. So I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, whether it's the audio version or on YouTube. You can find me on all the major podcast platforms, J-Rock Soccer and Basketball Sessions on YouTube. I appreciate you guys so much for listening. And as always, until next time.